They say awards season is glamorous, elegant, and full of star-studded magic. But what if I told you that the 2026 Golden Awards had a moment so shocking, so jaw-dropping, that even Hollywood's most seasoned insiders were left speechless? Imagine walking into a room filled with glittering stars, the clinking of champagne glasses, the soft murmur of photographers adjusting their lenses, and then, suddenly, everything freezes. Your pulse quickens. Something is off. And when you look up, the last person you expect is standing inches away, staring at you like you owe them your attention. That was the moment Emma Stone realized that her night, her meticulously planned, glamorous night, was about to spiral into chaos. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. The story begins with a question that no one in Hollywood wants to ask aloud. What happens when a global celebrity shows up where they're not supposed to? What happens when boundaries are crossed and reputations teeter on the edge of scandal? On February 15, 2026, at the Golden Awards in Los Angeles, Emma Stone confronted a reality that no one could have predicted. Meghan Markle, a figure equally adored and scrutinized across the world, had somehow made her way into the ceremony, and she wasn't just attending. She was approaching Emma Stone in a way that made security pause, colleagues whisper, and cameras click with the precision of a clock counting down to disaster. Emma's eyes widened as Meghan came closer. "I don't know you," she reportedly exclaimed, and for a moment, the air itself seemed to crack. The words were sharp, almost electric, echoing across the ballroom in a way that stunned anyone within earshot. And the reaction was immediate. Security moved in, cameras flashed faster than anyone could follow, and social media, was about to erupt in ways that would make even seasoned PR managers sweat. But let's rewind for a moment. How did it come to this? How did Meghan Markle, a former actress turned Duchess turned global personality, end up at the Golden Awards under circumstances that no one invited, no one expected, and no one was prepared for? To understand, we need to look at the context, the tension, and the personalities involved. Meghan Markle's public persona is complex, a blend of grace, determination, controversy, and curiosity. Emma Stone's reputation, in contrast, is built on poise, professionalism, and the kind of charm that lights up a room, but she is not someone who tolerates intrusion. Mix the two, and you have a perfect storm waiting to happen. Now, let's pause and think about the stakes. Awards ceremonies are not just about celebrating talent. They are about control, presentation, and the delicate dance of public perception. One wrong move can dominate headlines for weeks, sometimes months. One viral moment can overshadow a lifetime of work. And when someone like Meghan Markle, whose every action is magnified under a global microscope, crosses paths with someone like Emma Stone, who is both loved and intensely private, the collision is inevitable. Reports suggest that the encounter started subtly. Meghan reportedly wandered into the main ballroom moments before the ceremony began, dressed in an understated but elegant gown, blending in with the crowd, or so it seemed. Guests didn't immediately notice her. After all, Hollywood events are full of faces, both famous and aspiring. But Emma did. She noticed the presence of someone unfamiliar moving with an air of certainty, someone whose eyes were locked onto her table. And when Meghan approached, Emma's instincts, honed over years in a highly public industry, kicked in. "I don't know you," she said again, more firmly this time. The phrase wasn't just a refusal, it was a boundary. Emma had rehearsed every scenario in her mind for months leading up to the awards, imagining interviews, speeches, and media moments. But she had never imagined confronting someone like Meghan Markle mid-event, under the glare of 100 cameras and the scrutiny of millions online. The tension in the room was palpable. Waiters froze mid-step, photographers held their breath, and even other celebrities paused, sensing that a moment of unprecedented drama was unfolding. But here's where it gets even more astonishing. Meghan didn't back down. Not immediately. According to insiders, she attempted to engage, speaking softly at first, then more insistently, as if hoping to pierce the invisible wall Emma had erected. The situation escalated so quickly that security personnel had to intervene. And when they did, the room's atmosphere shifted from tense to chaotic. Cameras flashed, whispers surged into murmurs, and within minutes, the incident was being recorded and live-streamed by multiple attendees. In an era where social media is instantaneous, there was no chance to control the narrative. Every angle, every expression, every word was captured. What makes this story so riveting isn't just the clash between two global figures. It's the psychology behind it. Emma Stone is known for her quick wit and emotional intelligence, but she is also fiercely private. Meghan Markle, by contrast, has navigated global scrutiny for years, understanding both the benefits and risks of public appearances. Yet in this moment, the normal dynamics of celebrity influence were suspended. Emma's immediate reaction was human. Shock, disbelief, and a need to assert boundaries. Meghan's reaction, whether intentional or misunderstood, transformed what should have been a routine night into a spectacle with worldwide repercussions. Think about the stakes for a moment. Emma Stone's professional image is meticulously curated. One misstep could overshadow her career milestones. Meghan Markle's image, while resilient, is constantly analyzed, dissected, and debated across the globe. Add the amplification power of the Golden Awards, the cameras, the social media audience, and suddenly every microsecond of this encounter becomes a headline. The magnitude of such a simple exchange, 3 words, repeated, cannot be overstated. And yet, what happened next is almost unimaginable. Security did their best to guide Meghan away from Emma's table, but Meghan reportedly resisted. Insiders say she seemed unbothered, moving with a sense of purpose that unnerved even the most experienced staff. Guests began murmuring, cameras swiveled, and within minutes, the incident had taken on a life of its own. Twitter lit up. Instagram stories multiplied. YouTube clips appeared faster than anyone could track. Suddenly, the Golden Awards were no longer about cinematic achievements. They were about a confrontation that would dominate the news cycle for days. This raises a question. Why would Meghan Markle risk such a public spectacle? Was it curiosity, a personal message, or simply a misunderstanding? No one outside the immediate circle knows for certain, but speculation has been rampant. Social media analysts, celebrity gossip outlets, and fans have all weighed in, offering theories ranging from intentional PR stunt to personal obsession. And while the truth remains murky, the effect is crystal clear. The narrative has shifted, and both women find themselves at the center of a story larger than any one of them anticipated. Now, consider the emotional stakes. Emma Stone, despite her calm public persona, reportedly felt a surge of panic. Imagine having to navigate a room filled with cameras, colleagues, and fans while someone refuses to leave, ignoring repeated polite requests. Imagine the adrenaline, the shock, the uncertainty. And imagine knowing that every second of hesitation could be recorded and dissected. It is a scenario that few could imagine surviving unscathed, and yet, Emma handled it with a combination of firmness, composure, and quick thinking that would later earn her praise, but only after the public had erupted in debate. And the irony isn't lost. Meghan Markle, someone used to navigating global attention, may have underestimated the intensity of Emma's response. The confrontation became more than a personal clash. It was a collision of two worlds, Hollywood glamour and royal notoriety, both magnified through the lens of modern media. It's a story that combines tension, drama, and intrigue in a way few real-life events ever do. By now, you're probably wondering, how did the audience react? What did other celebrities do? What happened to Meghan after security intervened? These questions are crucial because they reveal the cascading impact of the incident, not just on the individuals involved, but on Hollywood's ecosystem as a whole. Everyone at the Golden Awards, staff, attendees, and even viewers at home, was suddenly part of a narrative that no one could control. And the ripples from that night would extend far beyond Los Angeles, crossing borders, dominating social media, and sparking debates about celebrity behavior, boundaries, and the nature of fame itself. But here's the kicker. The events of that night were only the beginning. Behind the initial shock, whispers, and viral clips lay a deeper story, hidden motives, insider perspectives, and moments that no camera captured. Secrets that, when revealed, would make the night even more extraordinary. And while the headlines focused on the confrontation, the truth of what really happened between Emma Stone and Meghan Markle, why it happened, and how it changed both of their nights and reputations was a story waiting to unfold. And that is exactly what we are going to explore in this video. Step by step, moment by moment, you will see how an ordinary awards ceremony became an unforgettable drama. You will hear about the security interventions, the social media storm, the psychological dynamics at play, and the aftermath that still resonates today. But I warn you, what you think you know now is only the surface. Because what came next would change everything, and no one saw it coming. The Golden Awards red carpet is supposed to be a spectacle of glittering gowns, tuxedos pressed to perfection, and flashes of cameras that capture Hollywood at its most glamorous. It's a carefully choreographed ballet of fame, where every entrance is calculated to impress, and every smile is measured. But the 2026 Golden Awards were about to break all the rules of decorum. And it all started with an arrival that no one was prepared for. The air outside the theater was electric, filled with the chatter of excited fans, the whirring of helicopters, and the occasional bark of security personnel keeping the crowds at bay. Limousines lined the curb, their doors opening to reveal a procession of Hollywood's most elite. Photographers jockeyed for position, shouting names in unison, flashes exploding in rapid succession. And then, almost casually, Meghan Markle appeared. Not announced, not expected, just there. Her entrance was subtle but deliberate. She wore a tailored gown, understated in color but flawless in fit, her hair arranged in a way that suggested effortless elegance. She didn't rush, didn't smile for the cameras. She simply moved, a presence that drew attention without seeking it. Those who noticed her early thought little of it. After all, awards shows are full of last-minute arrivals, surprise guests, and media-trained stars. But Emma Stone noticed. Emma was stepping out of her limousine, radiating a calm confidence. Her dress was a shimmering statement of poise, her smile warm yet measured. She waved to photographers, nodded to fans, and made her way into the theater. Every step was intentional, every glance curated. But then she saw it, a figure moving purposefully toward her table. At first, she squinted against the lights, trying to make sense of the familiar but not quite right silhouette. And then she realized, it was Meghan Markle. It's a moment that insiders later described as surreal. Emma's initial reaction was disbelief, followed by a surge of adrenaline. Her mind raced. Why is she here? How did she get in? What does she want? In the world of Hollywood, such questions are rarely rhetorical. They are a survival mechanism. And in that moment, Emma's instincts kicked in. She straightened her posture, locked eyes on Meghan, and prepared for what was coming. Meanwhile, Meghan continued her approach. Observers described her stride as confident, almost predatory in its precision, a stark contrast to the casual elegance she projected moments earlier. There was a sense that she had a purpose, though what that purpose was remained a mystery. Guests began to notice the tension building in subtle ways, whispers, side glances, and the occasional photographer adjusting their angle to capture the unfolding moment. Security personnel, stationed discreetly at the edges of the red carpet, noticed the interaction almost immediately. Their training kicked in. Always anticipate, always intervene before a situation escalates. But even for them, the scenario was unusual. Meghan Markle wasn't a stranger to high-profile events, yet her approach to Emma's table was unorthodox. She wasn't being escorted, she wasn't mingling politely, she was heading straight for her target. And in the world of Hollywood security, that raises red flags. Inside the theater, the atmosphere was a careful blend of excitement and control. Waiters moved gracefully, balancing trays of champagne and hors d'oeuvres, while the audience settled into their seats in anticipation of the award ceremony. The golden chandeliers cast a soft, luxurious glow, and the hum of conversation was punctuated by occasional laughter. But there was an undercurrent now. A ripple of tension that only a few perceptive guests could sense. Something was about to happen that would overshadow even the most anticipated awards of the evening. As Meghan drew closer, Emma prepared herself. She knew that in these moments, composure was key. A reaction too strong would make the scene worse. Hesitation might embolden the intruder. She took a measured breath, positioning herself subtly between Meghan and the table. It was a simple gesture, but one loaded with intention. Emma had dealt with paparazzi, overzealous fans, and awkward interactions before, but this was different. This was someone who wasn't merely an obstacle to navigate. They were a force actively challenging her boundaries. Observers later reported that for a brief moment, there was almost a standoff. Meghan paused, as if sizing up her target, and Emma met her gaze with equal intensity. The moment was silent but electric. In a room accustomed to controlled appearances and rehearsed smiles, the tension was palpable. Guests leaned slightly forward in their seats, staff froze mid-step, and even the cameras seemed to hesitate, capturing a pause that would later be replayed endlessly online. Then came the first words. Emma's voice, firm but calm, cut through the murmur of the crowd. "I don't know you." 3 words that were simple but charged with power. The phrase served as a boundary, a line drawn in the metaphorical sand of the Golden Awards. And it wasn't just for Meghan. It was a signal to everyone present. Something unusual, something unprecedented was happening.